Welcome to the court, the International Court of Minecraft. Today on trial is TommyInnit. Accused of over a dozen war crimes, we will be looking through the evidence, sifting through the files, and finding how many, if any, of these war crimes did he truly commit while stationed on the DreamSMP. The first war crime brought against him is the recruitment of a minor under the age of 15 to fight in an armed force. The minor in question is Drista, the sister of the ruler of DreamSMP, Dream. Let's look into the evidence.
Listen, Drista, so you want to go help me mine out this big pit?
Yeah, we'll go help you mine out the pit.
As you have heard, the defendant, TommyInnit, asks Drista, once again under the age of 15, do you want to dig this pit? The only assumption that can be made when TommyInnit is in the middle of a war and when he is in contact with this miner is that he's speaking of trenches, such as the trench warfare used in World War II. And digging trenches would be part of the military's activities, which means that in this case, TommyInnit is recruiting a miner under the age of 15 to work in the armed forces, which is against the UN accepted Geneva Convention rules and would be considered a war crime. So that's one out of many. So we'll go guilty and innocent. That's a 1 for guilty. Let's move on to the next piece of evidence.
Dream. No, my friend, don't get hit by a train, Dream. Oh!
As you have seen, TommyInnit as Dream, who at the time was a third party, was not involved in any conflicts with a minecart, then killing him on the spot. This would be considered, as TommyInnit did have the option to exit the car, or to somehow push Dream off so that he would not be hit by the car itself, or to in some way prevent the situation from happening, which he could very easily have done. This could be considered willful action, and if this is a willful action, it would be considered willful killing or willful causing great suffering or serious injury. Both of which, when done against a non-combatant or someone protected under the Geneva Conventions, which in this case Dream would be, as he is a non-combatant, a third party, is considered a war crime. So that's number 2 and number 3, as it violates 2 of the articles listed on UN.org. Let's move on to the next one.
Hey, this is my VODs channel, and today we burned down George's new house. This was probably a very morally wrong thing to do, but it's okay, because I wanted to.
As you have heard, TommyInnit says that the reason he had burned down a house was because he wanted to, which means it was not warranted by military necessity, which in and of itself would be considered a war crime. So this is another war crime on his list. And it's not just one. No, I have a list of 5 violations on the Geneva Convention page. The first one is A4, which is generally unlawful and wanton destruction and appropriation of property uncalled for by military. Which very obviously is. If he just wanted to do it and he did it, that's not called for by the military. And then we have B4 and 5, which state that initiating an attack knowing it will unwarranted cause injury to civilians or the environment, burning down a house in the middle of a field would cause natural environment nearby to unnecessarily be injured or harmed. Attacking undefended military objectives. This was not a military objective. As Dream later goes on to say, this is considered a vacation home. It does not have any, specific military value. It's just there. And then we also have B9 and B16. B9 states that attacking non-military, religious, educational, artistic, scientific, historic, charitable, or medical sites. This could be considered a historic site from the Dream War. So when the war was going on, George had gone and built this hobbit hole, his little house on the side, unrated. Well, now Dream had appointed George not found to be the king. And if George is the king, and this was, made during a wartime, and it could be considered a historical landmark of what George, who was the king, what his actions had been during the war. Then we have B16. B16 is pillaging a town or place, even if taken by assault. Again, it's not as this one is a bit less specific, but it could be considered one. Because technically he's pillaging it, he's stealing the items inside, breaking and griefing the structure. If it is a vacation area, that means that there's an area around there that makes it worth vacationing at. Which means that it would be the region which was pillaged by TommyInnit. So again, another war crime added to the list. So far all of these have been confirmed. In addition to all of these, when TommyInnit burned down the house, he had made it seem like he was partnered with L'Manberg. And L'Manberg had been acting on treaties with the Dream Team that basically said they called for peace. So when TommyInnit violates that treaty, he is violating B7, which basically states that you cannot improperly use a flag of truce. When you're signing a treaty, you're saying, okay, we have a truce now, we're not going to attack. TommyInnit violated that, and he was vice president. He wasn't just sitting, he was the vice president of that country, of L'Manberg. So that's just another one on the list. Then we'll move on to this.
I'm at full health. I should stop. I'm just gonna stop. I'm gonna tell you I'm on what. Oh my god, I'm gonna die.
You're gonna die? You're gonna die?
I'm gonna die.
All right, you stay. Okay, I'm gonna slay every last one unless you. Actually, oh, Connor, how do you like oxygen? How do you like oxygen? How do you like it now, bitch?
That was very obvious torture. That was torturing and trapping a civilian of sorts. Not necessarily civilian. That was still torture, uncalled for by war. This violates both A2 and A7. A2 was violated because it says no uncalled for, unwarranted torture or inhumane treatment. 7 says no unlawful deportation / transfer or confinement. As you guys have seen, Randu has been confined in a space that is not humanly acceptable. He does not have a bed to sleep in. He does not have food to eat. He does not have area to walk, nowhere to exercise. He is not given his necessarily human rights. So again, more war crimes committed by TommyInnit. After this, we have ourselves this clip.
We took someone hostage on the DreamSMP.
As you guys have seen, TommyInnit has admitted to taking hostages. Which, he took a hostage for the purpose of making someone do something. It wasn't because there was any military necessity. It was someone that likely is protected under the Geneva Conventions that he took hostage for the purpose of working. That is A8, no taking of hostages. In addition, we have B21. B21 states that humiliating or degrading others is not allowed. If you look in the title of this video, it says cyberbullying. Cyberbullying would be considered humiliation, dehumanization, that type of stuff, degrading treatment, stuff that, would classify as this. He admitted within this title to both humiliation and degrading treatment and taking hostage, two of which are war crimes. Now let's move on to the next one. This next one features the owner of this world, Dream.
Hey, okay,
I'm gonna kill you until you're gone.
Tommy, stop.
Oh, what?
Stop.
What are you gonna do? No, you know what?
Listen,
How? No, you know what? You know what? You have three. You have three.
This is my.
So that was a violation of B6. B6 states that killing or rounding a combatant who surrendered is not allowed. Because I've seen, Dream was telling Tommy to stop, likely because he surrendered. He was saying, stop it. I don't want to fight. I'm done fighting, which would mean that he surrendered, which would mean that Tommy considered attacking and continued attacking Dream even after surrender, which, again, violation of a Geneva Convention. So yeah, there's another war crime. And this is the final war crime that we're going to be investigating, B17 and B18, based on this clip, both of which relate to the use of poisonous weaponry.
Now, people often say poison is better in Minecraft, but I beg to differ, alright? Because right here, I don't need no brewing stand. I can craft me a splash potion.
As you guys can see, TommyInnit was even if he wasn't physically using it, he was interacting and creating poisonous weaponry in the forms of liquids. So B17 and 18 state that you can not employ poisoned weapons, which he was doing. You cannot employ weaponless gases or analogous liquids, materials, or devices. Analogous liquid to a weaponized gas would be a poisoned potion or poisoned liquid, which, again, violation. So ding ding. The total war crimes committed by TommyInnit, according to the UN.org list, is, drumroll please, 16 war crimes. That's a decent amount, you know. About 1 year of his life on average. Not horrible, but you know, people can do better. You know, maybe I'll look into Technoblade. Maybe we'll see how much that is. If you want to see that, make sure you subscribe. Please do. Please subscribe.